Hey YouTube, Alan back with another package and pickles video. I say another, it's actually not been that common this year to be doing package and pickles video, or at least package and pickles video from the wild, which is what this one is. It's going to probably be, the end of the car boot season or something like that. I'm going to entitle it. But in all practicality, it really sums up the entire summer, because we didn't have much of a summer. There wasn't really much to find. Most of the car boots were rained out. It was, not a great year for picking up the bargains, at the Irish car boots. And the same even goes for charity shops. All summer long, I found a total of 3 games, one of which I just used to trade in and I picked up something else. I can't even remember what. And the other 2, I'm going to go through them now, are PlayStation 1 games that I got. I can't remember, did these come out to £1, or was it €1 or €2? I can't remember. So first we have 2 games in one, and it's Toka World Rally and Colin McRae Rally, is that right? Toka World Cars, can't remember so it's 2 discs, 2 games, no manuals unfortunately, but I'm sure it's accelerate, brake, go. How hard could it be? It was apparently originally $19.99, but I think I paid 50 cents for those 2. And then the other game I picked up was 007, Tomorrow Never Dies. So again, this feels like, it actually has a manual. I didn't think it did, so it actually all complete this time. €15 this was pre-owned back in the day, but this was also 50 cents I think. So both PlayStation 1 games, I'm not too sure. I've played Colin McRae Rally back in the day. I did enjoy it. I don't know what Tomorrow Never Dies is like. I do recall being a little upset at the time that Rare weren't going to handle a follow-up to GoldenEye with the Bond license. Everyone was kind of like, oh, okay, they're going to do Tomorrow Never Dies because GoldenEye was so good. But no, they didn't. That ended up being a PlayStation exclusive, I think. Maybe it was on PC, but it definitely didn't come to N64. I don't believe it came to Saturn either. So, from what I understand, it didn't in any way live up to kind of the hype that GoldenEye set. Now, that would have been a big ask for the developers, who were Black Ops Entertainment, I believe it seems on the back. But, however, that was my charity shop's findings for the summer, pretty much. So, last car boot probably for the season, I would say. And out of the blue, I managed to pick up a few games. Again, a bit more recent. I didn't really find much retro, or to tell the truth, I've seen a bit retro stuff. All resellers, all charging more than the going rate on eBay. I know there's one seller who happens to enjoy charging. They also sell as they're a video game reseller, but they also have a few toys, and they have Lego, and they have Lego models made, and they charge extra, more than it would cost in the shop, because they're charging for their labor in making the model. It's like, hello, that's kind of what Lego's all about, is the construction component. It's a construction toy. Yes, you can break it apart, but you can't charge someone for making it. That was the fun of it. But the fact that it's not new, it should depreciate. I mean, not all Lego does, they're collectible stuff, yada yada yada, but when you're just talking a more common set, in fact you're talking about in some cases sets that you can still buy in the shop. I was actually looking at a few games, and a collector had come up and he'd asked about this box, and goes, how much is this? And she'd give him a price, and it was, let's say it was €8, and he goes, $6.99 in Smith's. We'll go buy it in Smith's. And it's kind of like, okay, you are a second-hand seller at a car boot. You cannot charge more than the shops. Oy. So that kind of summed up the whole summer, as I've already said. But lo and behold, today, out of the blue, didn't think it was going to even be a car boot, I managed to actually get some good games. I'm going to start with the older ones first. Not that old again, really, but they're PlayStation 1 stuff. So the first game, wow, it's heavy. It's Magic the Gathering Battle Mage. Now, I don't know anything about this game, truth be told, and I'm not a massive Magic fan. Tony is, I believe. Holy moly! Oh wait, there was extra manuals in here, I think. Oh yeah, there's. I was no wonder it was so heavy. I didn't actually check in the game, but there was also manuals for Brian Lara Cricket and International Track and Field. I didn't see them at the seller's booth. Maybe they had them. I should have perhaps asked. But there is a heavy enough manual for Magic the Gathering. It was a serious manual. Because Everett was in pretty good nick with this set. And I didn't buy Everett. There was plenty more games that I left. I've been trying to kind of keep it down to just stuff that is more interesting or higher tier. So some of the sports stuff I was leaving. So yeah, Magic the Gathering, Battle Mage. I know Tony's a big fan of Magic the Gathering, the card game. So I'm kind of curious to have him around at some point and try this out and see what he thinks. You know, is it a good game? Do you have to kind of know the kind of all the Magic stuff to kind of get into it or not? But again, this was the PlayStation games were €1 each, but I bundled a few of them together. So the second one then, this is the only sports game I picked up, and it's more of a comedy game than anything. It's Ready to Rumble Boxing. Ideally, I'd have liked to have gotten the N64 version at some point, but hey, PlayStation 1 is there. Oh, sorry, this is round 2. This is actually the sequel. This is a later game. When did this come out? Because Ready to Rumble Boxing, the first one came out on the N64, but I don't think the sequel did. So yeah, this was basically a comedy boxing game, and it's meant to be good fun. Kind of simple. Almost like, you know, if you think of Punch-Out, again, a decent thick manual, it's all in good condition. You know, that kind of comedy element, not quite as puzzly as Punch-Out, but not serious like some boxing games are. And it's just, like, you can tell, look, Afro Thunder and some other guy, it's, you know, silly game. But fun, from what I've heard. Now, the final PlayStation 1 game it's an EA classic, and it really is a classic. It's Soviet Strike. So, of course, this is, I don't know, is it the final Strike game or the second last one? I remember, obviously, on the 16-bit days, you had Desert Strike, Jungle Strike, and Urban Strike. But then on the 32-bit systems, they had Nuclear Strike and Soviet Strike. And I've always wanted to get them because they're good games. Now, I'm rubbish at them, but I've always enjoyed them. And again, manual and disc in excellent condition. It's just a shame that it's the classic re-release. Well, apparently the 6.1 block. It looks actually quite good on the back of the box. No point focusing it because I'm sure it won't. But yeah, these are games I've always wanted to pick up. And I don't have Nuclear Strike, and I didn't think I had Soviet Strike. I haven't actually checked. So I was definitely, you know, I was nabbing that one straight away. Thankfully, it wasn't like there was reseller in the card group, but they actually hadn't picked up these games. I was really surprised by that. So now onto the PlayStation 2 stuff. They had PlayStation 3 and a few other bits, but nothing too crazy. But the PlayStation 2 stuff was I was really surprised by some of them. I'm going to start off with, well, whichever comes to hand, I guess. They're all following a team, I guess. And the first one up is Grandia 2. Now, well, the manual's a bit dog-eared, but other than that, it's fine. Must it be an early PlayStation game, I assume, given that it's in the black case. As far as I know, it's featuring all new, never-before-seen cinematics. As far as I'm aware, this is an RPG type of game. Not normally my cup of tea. But given that they were looking for €2, a PlayStation 2 game, generally an RPG on any system for €2 is going to be a decent deal. And although I'm not always the biggest fan, every so often I do get into them. And certainly, you know, if I do sit down with Tony or play these type of games, you know, he's a big fan of RPGs. So I figured I'll take a chance on them. At that price, can't really go wrong. Apparently at this point, at one point it was €20 in GameStop on a buy two get third one free. I definitely wasn't seeing this in GameStop anytime recently. So that's the first one. The second one then is, not too sure how you pronounce this, Kessen? Kessen. Apparently it sets a new high watermark for visuals in strategy games. So this is a strategy game, and again, GameStop, $11.99, probably bought it at a similar time, buy two get one free. Oh no, I tell a lie, because in the back it was $7.99 at some point. So again, it's in pretty good nick. Manual's a little dog-eared, but the discs all seem fine. I am assuming that this is in some way related to the Dynasty Warrior games as maybe a spin-off or something, because it's by Koei, and you know, you kind of think of big armies attacking each other and whatnot. It's certainly makes me think Dynasty Warriors, but maybe it's not. While we're at that, it obviously did well enough because it got a sequel, Kessen 2. More dynamic battles, more dramatic action is what it says on the back. So presumably, we'll say that these all three were bought at the same time, given that they all have the same stickers. Yeah, which actually would have been a bloody good deal for those games too. I'm sure this is more the same. So apparently new agent technology allows for 500 soldiers on screen at once. 5 times more than the original. That is impressive. This has got to be in some way related to Dynasty Warriors. If you know, let me know in the comments below, because I'm really curious. Having recently kind of learned a bit about the Dynasty Warriors series via Hyrule Warriors, you know, games like this now pique my interest. And again, it's in pretty good nick. What's the second? Is that the second book? Or no, the manual is just quite thick again. Apparently, whoever owned these games was into, you know, RPGs and that type, you know, more. With the exception of Soviet Strike and Rage Rumble Boxing, it's kind of like they feel a bit of out of place compared to these other games. But anyway, next up we have what I'm assuming is another RPG, and it's Shadow Hearts Covenant. So again, apparently this is wield the power of the Judgment Ring to fulfill your destiny. A fantastic world filled with ancient magic. As I said, I assume this is another RPG, although it's not really saying. If you know what it is, let me know in the comments below. It's a 2-discer anyway, so on the PlayStation 2, that must have been a sizable enough game, or have a lot of FMV instruction manual. Thought the art looked interesting on front and back, and at the price, I figure I've never heard of it. Sometimes with the games you've never heard of, it's worth taking a little bit of a gamble on. Like those other games that I left behind, as I said, sports games, but when it's a game that look, you know, a bit different that you haven't heard of, it can be worth, you know, trying it out. So on to the final two. Now, I have not played these games, but I do know their name. I know the franchise, and I know they are kind of up there with the best. The first one is Suikoden Tactics. Now, this is obviously going to be a strategy RPG type of game. I assume it's going to be like Final Fantasy Tactics, that type of gameplay, set in the Suikoden universe, no doubt. Again, we have two. We have a book and a manual. So we have the 2005-2006 Konami manual in here. Konami thing. Back when Konami, you know, were a bit more focused on console games, so we've Pro Evolution Soccer 5, Wallace and Gromit, Castlevania, The Curse of Darkness, The Regiment, never heard of that one, Crime Life Gang Wars, Pro Evo Soccer 5, these must be PSP games. It was nice when they actually did this in the game, so you could see kind of the catalogue that the company was putting out, and it helped you kind of become familiar with their output and other games that they do. Kind of really built the brand. You don't see it anymore. You know, boxes these days are pretty much a disc and that's it. But that was the first game. I've kind of given it away. But the second one then is Suikoden 5. This is one of those massive RPGs, and the whole series by and large is rave reviewed. Oh wait, there's pages in here. Let's see what this is all about. I assume whoever owned it, this was Josephine, I can't really read the writing, Foiler. There's a whole list of names. I don't know if this is related to the game or something else, because there is a whole load of them. Now these ones are definitely like Bring Lead to Waterfall for Gino. I'm guessing these are your man's notes on playing the game. I always like when you see bits like that, because it does, oh, there's a game receipt that was bought in game. Let's see the date on this. Well, I can tell you it must be a game closed in Ireland. So it was 2006, and it was €35 at the time. Back in, actually, funny enough, it's near today, so 24th of the 9th, 2006. So 9 years ago, and presumably this was a more recent release. But anyway, this is, I believe, is a massive game. So I was going to pick it up. As I said, I was really surprised that especially these two games weren't nabbed by the reseller, let alone the other games, because by and large, I'd imagine they're all fairly solid. I don't know what they go for or whatever, but the PlayStation, these games here basically came out to a tenner, because it was was two each, but essentially it was 3 for 5, 3 for 5, that type of deal. And then it was one each, but 3 for 2. So the whole lot came to 12. So that was a decent haul from a car boot, especially after a summer that had been dreadful. Nothing going at all. So I was happy to actually finally pick something up to kind of, close out this year, the car boots, with something approaching a victory. And maybe next year, maybe we'll get better weather. Maybe people will bring more stuff out, more games. Hope all we can do is hope for a better future. Anyway, that's my package and pickups, for the last few months from the car boots. Not the most exciting, but hey, we had enough to make a video out of it, and I guess that's something. Anyway, hope you enjoyed as always, and thanks for subscribing, and don't forget to like, comment, and all that. The more you kind of comment and whatnot, that helps kind of build a community, helps the videos grow and get a bigger audience, and I really appreciate that. And I always love hearing what you have to say. What are these games like? I'm not a big RPG guy, so this is kind of a step into an unknown territory for me. So leave those comments below, and we'll be back with another video shortly. Bye for now.